Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we'll explore a very crucial topic for the UGC NET aspirants, that is research methodology in English literature. So research methodology is very much important from the exam point of view because definitely there is a question that comes from the research methodology, and it is also important because we need to know it about more in details, as it will also help us to crack the exam, and also it will be useful when we'll be preparing for our research paper. So research methodology is a very important thing. It's very easy, but you need to know everything about the research methodology. You need to answer that one or two question that definitely comes in exam. So this lecture that I have prepared on the research methodology will provide you all with an overview of research methodology, its importance in literary studies, and the strategies that we need to excel in research-based questions that comes in the UGC NET exam. So first we need to know what research methodology is. So research methodology refers to the systematic approach to understand a literary text, and it's about the techniques and strategies we use to investigate the literature. Now the point comes that why it is important for the UGC NET exam. It is important for the UGC NET exam because a solid grasp of research method is very much crucial for analyzing the text critically and effectively to answer the exam related questions. So by the end of this section, you will have insights into the key research practices in English literature, which will definitely help you in your upcoming exam preparation. So now we are going to learn about some types of research that is present in the English literature. So there are several types of research you may encounter while you will be facing the literary studies. First, we'll talk about the descriptive research. So this kind of research involves analyzing the characteristics of a text. For example, you might describe the portrayal of nature in romantic poetry. The next one was about the analytical research. So, here in the analytical research, we focus on how and why the literary works are constructed. And this also includes applying various literary theories to interpret text. For example, if we analyze the symbolism in Emily Dickinson's poetry through a psychoanalytic lens, we'll understand her work in more a better way. So it's important for us to know every kind of research, every types of research, in order to understand a particular text or a particular work. Next, we are going to learn about comparative research. So this is a kind of research that involves the comparison of text, themes, or genres. If we take, for example, we could compare the Virginia Woolf to the Lighthouse to James Joyce Ulysses. So, if these are the modern text, and when we this is a kind of research where we'll compare the modernist elements that is presented in the both the works, and we kind of if you want, we kind of develop some new points or things that was still not invented. So this is a research which consists by comparing the elements or genres or characteristics. Next, we are going to learn about the historical research. So this kind of research examines the literary works that is in the context of that particular works period of time. So, for example, if we take the Victorian influence in the works of Charles Dickens novels or works, So Charles Dickens wrote in the age of Victorian age, and if we closely look at his all the works, some Victorian elements are definitely present in his work, because he was writing according to that age, and obviously that those things happening in the Victorian period kind of influenced the writings of Charles Dickens. So this is all about the historical research. Next is about theoretical research. So this theoretical research involves applying literary theories like Marxism, feminism, psychoanalysis, post-colonialism to text to reveal some deeper meaning that was hidden in that works or in those particular works. So this is all about the types of research we need to know for our exam point of view. Next, we are going to learn about some approaches that is needed in the research uh, mm, for our English literature. So, majorly there are three types of approaches that we need to follow. The first one is qualitative, the second one is quantitative, and the third one is the mixed method research. So, we'll be learning about more these approaches in details. So, first we are going to learn about the qualitative research. So, qualitative research focuses more on understanding and exploring the themes and narratives through detailed analysis of the text. Next, we're going to learn about the quantitative research. So, quantitative research is all about the numerical data that uses statistics and surveys, even though it's rare in literary studies. So, and next, we are going to learn about the mixed method research. So, mixed method research kind of combines both the qualitative and the quantitative approach for a detailed point of view or a holistic point of view. So these are the three major approaches that we need to follow or we need to remember while analyzing a text or while approaching a text through a particular research method. So next we are going to learn about some of the key concepts that is present in the literary research. So let's break down some fundamental concepts that you all need to know to analyze a literary piece of work. So first we need to know about the research problem. So first, this is the question or issue you are investigating. So the research problem is what? It clearly defines what you want to investigate or the question you aim to answer. So what you need to focus more on first is to create a research problem on which the basis of your whole research will proceed. Next, we are going to form a hypothesis. So what is a hypothesis? So hypothesis is a proposed explanation or prediction that your research will test. So it's a statement that will predict the outcome of your research or a possible explanation. Next, we are going to learn about the literature review. After research problem comes the hypothesis. After hypothesis comes the literature review. So, literature review is a survey of existing scholarship that is relevant to your research topic. So, literature review is a survey of existing research and scholarly works that is relevant to your topic. Suppose you are conducting a research based on Virginia Woolf's To the Lighthouse. So, you need to focus more. So in the literature review, what you will do, you will there must be some others who have already conducted a research on that particular topic. So you need to read all those things, and after analyzing or after reading about all those areas that they focused, you need to prepare something unique that will be somehow different from their research, and that's where your research will become more relevant and unique. Next, we will be doing the data collection. So that after literature review, we need to collect data, because after literature review, we kind of had an idea in our mind that what we are going to do, and for that we need to collect some data. So data are two types, that is primary sources and secondary sources. So in exam they are asking questions that suppose manuscripts, diaries, letters, literary texts, they fall under what sources, or these things belong to what sources. So or they will ask ask the following questions. So knowing about the primary sources and secondary sources is very much important from the exam point of view, or while you are preparing for your research. It's important to know about the primary sources and the secondary sources. So the primary sources, what those are the original literary text. Suppose you are conducting a research on the Aristotle poetics. First, if you look at the primary sources, you will need to focus on the actual text of the Aristotle poetics, or the manuscripts, or whatever present, whatever that is present in its actual form that Aristotle wrote. And after that you'll come to secondary sources. You will analyze the scholarly articles, books, literary criticism, thesis, dissertation. These falls under the secondary sources. So the if the Aristotle's actual manuscript becomes the primary sources, then we'll come to secondary sources. So what is the secondary sources? What is the secondary source? After suppose you are researching on Aristotle poetics, and you have already gotten gotten some information from the primary sources. Now you need to focus on the secondary sources, that already some people have researched on that, or some periodicals, or some books that have some text on the Aristotle poetics. So these are all about the primary sources and the secondary sources. So after this, we need to analyze. After collecting the data, we need to analyze and we need to interpret whatever the theories and methodologies to examine that particular data we have collected from the primary sources or the secondary sources. So analysis and interpretation of the theories or the text that we have gathered as the form of data is very much necessary. And after that, we will reach to a conclusion, where in the conclusion we'll summarize our findings. We'll discuss the implications of the text or the theories that we have applied, and it will suggest something for others to research further in the future. So in the conclusion, it will be all about the summarization and findings that will actually suggest the further areas of the research. So now we are going to talk about research tools and techniques. So there are some common tools and techniques that we need to follow in literary research. So first is the textual analysis of the text. So in the textual analysis, we dive into the language, the style, and the form that is particularly applied to that text. And this is all about the textual analysis. Then we'll come to the contextual analysis. In the contextual analysis, we'll analyze the text within its social, historical, and cultural context. So the first we discussed about the textual analysis. Then after the textual analysis, we'll come to the contextual analysis. And from the contextual analysis, we'll further dive into the content analysis, and we'll analyze the content of the text. So in the content analysis, we'll systematically analyze the themes or pattern that is presented in the text. These are the tools that we need to know, or we need to perform to understand a text in a better way, that is that make the work a whole different case for us. So after the content analysis, we need to know about the archival research. So in this analysis, we will be accessing the manuscripts, early editions, and the historical records that is presented that will be applied to that particular text. Next, we are going to conduct the case studies in that particular matter. So, what is case study? Case study is the in-depth examination of a specific text or about the specific author on which or on whom we are conducting a research. After that, we'll be conducting some interviews or surveys to know more about the opinions. So, these interview and surveys are and because we need to do it because we need to collect the qualitative data from experts or readers. So these are some of the research tools and techniques we need to follow to analyze a piece of work in a better way. So next comes the research ethics in English literature. So we need to follow some ethics while conducting a particular research. So ethics are an essential aspects of research. We need to focus on some key areas or key ethical points while conducting a research. First, we need to focus on the plagiarism. So we avoid copying others works without proper citation. If we are copying some works, we need to mention them. We need to mention that it is their work, and if we don't mention their name or something about them, then it will become that we'll have to face the copyright issue, because it will seem as if we are copying their work without giving the credit to their actual author or actual writer. And after that, it will come to ethical consideration. So we should consider the ethics that was bounded while that will be bounded with conducting while conducting a research. So we should respect the intellectual property and copyright while conducting a piece of research, and we should ensure that the analysis we are doing for our research is actually genuine and not copied or distorted. So we have to focus more on the authenticity of our research. Next, we have to focus on the confidentiality of the research that we are conducting, because if interviews or surveys are involved, we should protect the participants' privacy. If I already mentioned that in the tool section that we'll be conducting the interviews or surveys to know more about that particular piece of text or piece of work to better conduct our research. And if we are interviewing someone and if he doesn't want to show his face to the world, we must respect his privacy and keep his face hidden. It's not that we'll not respect his privacy. So these are some of the research ethics we must follow while preparing or while conducting a research. Okay, so now we need to know something about the literary theories and how should we apply those literary theories while interpreting a text for our research. So there are so many types of literary theories. As English literature student, we must already know about the literary theories. Still I'm saying in this video about some literary theories that will be helpful while we conduct a research in the future, or those who are conducting a research now even. So formalism and new criticism, it is a kind of literary theory that focuses on the form, structure, or the language of a text without considering the author's intent or historical context. So this type of theory focus more on the form, structure, and language without considering the author intent or the historical context on which he wrote the text. Next comes the second type of theory, that is psychoanalytic criticism. So psychoanalytic criticism is the application of Freud's or Sigmund Freud or Carl Jung's theories to explore psychological dimension of a particular text. So, psychoanalytic criticism uses the psychological theories like Sigmund Freud's to analyze the particular literature or the particular text. Next, there is a Marxist criticism. So, Marxist criticism examines the text through the lens of class and the power dynamics. So, it examines the literature through the class conflict, economics, and ideology. Next comes the feminist criticism. So, feminist criticism analyzes or looks at the gender representation that is presented in the dynamic of the literature. Next comes the post-colonial criticism. So, post-colonial criticism addresses the themes that is presented in the particular literature of colonialism, identity, and cultural conflict. Next, we'll be learning about the reader response criticism. So, reader response criticism focuses more on the reader's interpretation of the text and the interaction he had with the text while reading. It has no connection with the author, in what intent the author has written. It's solely between the reader and his mind and the way he interprets the text. So these are some theories that literary theories that we can apply while conducting a research or while preparing or while analyzing a text for our research. So after all these things, we need to know how we should be, how the structure of a research paper should be. So a well-organized research paper that will include several key sections. So now we'll be discussing about the key section of the research paper. So while writing a research paper, first will come the title. So the title, we have to keep the title concise and relevant, and it should be descriptive of the research topic. Next, after the title, will follow by the abstract. So what is the abstract? Abstract is a summary of the research question, methodology that we used, and the findings that we found through the data collection or literature review. And after that will come the introduction. So we'll have to introduce the topic, the research question, and the objectives of our research. And after introduction, we'll have to write about the literature review. So in the literature review, as I already said, we need to discuss the existing research related to your topic, to our topic. And after literature review, it will be followed by the methodology. So we'll in this methodology section, we have to explain the research approaches we used, the tools, the techniques I talked about, the tools and techniques we used. And after that, we'll have to provide with an analysis of the research that we have done. So in the analysis part, we have to present our findings and the interpretation that we have done of our research or on our research. And after analysis, we will follow the conclusion. The conclusion will be followed by the analysis. So in the conclusion, as I already said, it will be the summarization of our result and the discuss of the implication that was followed in our research. And at last, we have to add the section of reference or bibliography. So in the reference or bibliography section, we'll have to list all the sources that we used, or from which sources we gathered our data, so that it will help others, those who will be preparing research on the very same topic, so that it will be helpful for the further research. So here are some key tips that I will be giving you as a English literature student or to the English literature aspirants. So we should first study about the literary theories. While before conducting a research, we should know about the literary theories, because definitely we are going to face them while conducting a piece of research, or while the interviewer or our guide will ask us a question about on which method used, which literary theory is used in this work, or even the exam, they will ask a question that in this work which theory is used, which literary theory is used, what kind of criticism is used in this. So for that, we need to know thoroughly about every literary theories. And after that, we have to practice the previous year papers. What will be the beneficiary thing that about the PYQs, because they will make us familiarize ourselves with the format of research based question that often asked in the exam. And after that, we should focus on some core text, know the key text, genres, or literary periods of that work, of every work. And after that we have to develop our analytical skill. Suppose I am reading about Hamlet, and I'll read the whole Hamlet, the whole text of Hamlet, and I'll analyze it in my mind. I'll do the critical analysis of the work, so that I can establish my viewpoint, what I thought about that particular work without considering what others thought. So this is where we have to develop our analytical skills if we are preparing for PhD. And after that we have to use study guides. We need to use study guides. It's not that everything will be present in the Google. We will get something more knowledge, extra knowledge from some particular study guides. So I'll suggest you to rely on the trusted resources like the Oxford's Companion or Norton Anthologies to know more about the skills or research type questions or literature review. About everything you need to know, so that it will be helpful for your research as well as for the questions that will be asked in the examination. Class, these are some of the resources that we can use while conducting our literary research. Please go through these resources, and for definitely it is going to help you while you conduct your research. So that's it for our research methodology section. I have tried my best to keep the things very short and very precise, and I have added everything from the exam point of view. So research methodology is a vital component of UGC NET English Literature. So a structured approach, consistent practice, and we should familiarize ourselves with the theories are definitely going to be crucial for the success we need. So I hope this you understand research methodology well. So keep reading, keep analyzing, and keep expanding your knowledge. Good luck with your exam preparation. And if you like today's video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe the video, and share it to your friends, share it with your friends, so that they will gain some knowledge about the research methodology section that was very much important from the exam point of view. So that's it for today. See you all in the next video.